Okay. So, one of the exercises I like to do, have people do, and did myself, was just take a piece of paper and you're going to write basically pros and cons about money. What are the negative aspects that you have about it? What it is that you think it is, and also about rich people. What do you correlate this negative that really bothers you? You don't have enough. Money is the root of all evil. All these concepts and these programs that we've been taught as children. And once you take that paper specifically, it really, honestly, I would say just write those down first on a separate piece of paper and get an idea of what is really bothering you about that concept. And the more reasons you can write, the merrier. And when you write down the reasons and the concepts and the beliefs that are negative, and you feel like you've run out of ideas, just wait like 5 seconds or 10 seconds and then write what you can think of. Just keep pushing, keep digging deeper as far as you can go. And then once you have all the list written out, you want to take that list and you can do whatever you want with it. You could crumble it up and throw it in the trash. You could burn it, get rid of it, because what this does is the subconscious communicates in symbolism. And if it sees this aspect of the negative ideas being destroyed, then it can let go of, the belief, whatever it was holding you back. Because typically at this level, it's a subconscious if you're struggling in that area, or if you're not making it to the next level that you want to make it to. So that's a way to get rid of your current perceptions and your past at the same time. There's a lot of approaches that I've found that really help people. And another approach is the relationship with money and treating it like a friend or a lover. And so that concept has helped me, because if you have a friend, you don't ask them to come over because you want money from them, right? You ask them to come over just to enjoy their company. And so if you look at money like a friend, just to enjoy the company of money, it becomes a give and take relationship. So the money concept, if you want, you could change the name. And a lady that does a great job explaining this, probably much better than I, her name is Morgana Ray, and she really has become an expert in this area, and she calls it the money honey. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that. So this concept is really, I think, a really great idea, because if you really think about God and anybody, it's all about relationship. Christopher knows, Kristen and I were talking about, relationships are hugely important in our reality. Relationship with your friends, earth, God, everything, right? So then you can look at your relationship with money. What is it like? Are you just doing stuff to get money to do stuff for you to expect a reward? Or are you saying to money, like, how can we make this relationship work? What can I do for, to help you, to help me in a cohesive relationship, so that we, the concept, or your money friend or money honey is happy and so are you, win-win situation. And when you act, because this is really an aspect of yourself, really, I mean, all you guys are an aspect of myself in true reality. So everything is yourself. You're just really working with that self in that perspective, is in the money perspective. And you can get information come to you like, you need to go and change your bank account. I mean, it'll be very obscure, or take care of your children or your wife, or give your wife a massage, something like that. It could be something that you don't even expect, but the next thing you know, you're receiving money unexpectedly. Not to say that you don't have to work, or you can just sit there and it'll come to you at all the time. I'm a realistic also. You have to have like income streams too to have it come to you, but the effort isn't as hard as one would assume when you master the relationship with money, because it's you're allowing it to come to you. And when you allow the money to come into your reality, and rather than trying to find it or wanting it, because if you're wanting it, you're defining yourself as not having it, or instead of defining yourself as having it, as if the friend is there. The friend is always there, right? I mean, God is always there, and God is money. Money is really is energy. When you really boil it down to the real, even then, it's still not even energy. It's an illusion, because if you go to an indigenous civilization, they don't have money. They just interchange with living off the land. It's just the way it is. It's not bartering is their way of interacting. So we've created a concept there is money, which, I mean, really there isn't, but there is, and we have to rely on it, and it is important. So here's another a very important aspect. I feel like that's something that I realized in my life, and I'll give you a little bit of a history about what happened to me. So when I used to live in San Diego, I mentioned that earlier, and I was dating this girl, and she was moving here to Lawrence, Kansas, and she said, "Do you want to come with me?" And at that time, my perception of money was just way off whack. I mean, I thought that you had to work for money, and that it was all about money, and I can't do this because I don't have enough money, and it's just not a good place. And so it was a struggle with me. I was receiving it, but whenever I got it, I didn't know what to do with it, and it was just a mess. So anyways, I said, okay, it's a lot cheaper there. It wasn't for love. I went for money. And so I got here, and sure enough, our relationship was turmoil. I mean, it was doomed to end because I was doing it for the wrong reason. And I didn't realize it. I knew it within myself, but I was ignoring the concept, or knowing ignoring that self of me. And finally, we got to the point where we were departing, and I said out loud, I don't care about the money, I just want to be in love. And my whole reality just literally changed, and everything changed at that point because I didn't care about it. And that is a huge lesson that I've learned in my life, is not to care about the money, because it's not important. It is important. Now, here's the yin and yang is important, because we have to pay for rent or whatever, groceries. We have to live in this reality with it, right? But to do anything for someone just for money is inevitable failure in itself, because that's not going to bring you happiness. Is basically what will happen. Is it'll fail. So doing any type of business cannot be based on that concept. It has to be based on something you love, something that you want to help people solve a problem. It has to be, because, like, from my experience, failure. And what happened shortly after that was that money was literally like just falling into my lap, basically. I mean, I got money. I was in the military and I had a disability, and they sent me this letter saying you need to be evaluated. And I said, the whole thing was that I was evaluated, and they said, okay, well, we're going to give you some money for all the time that you didn't receive money in the past, and just came to me. And then my truck kept bringing in money because it had these recalls, and just all these things just kept happening to me. And I was like, this is awesome. All because, number one, I didn't care about the money anymore. What I cared about was, bringing joy to my wife that I was just married to, or helping people was the primary reason that I did anything, or I still do anything. So that has to be the number one thing, is just doing it for not for money, but just because you love doing it. But there's also another aspect that I think that even though we do it for love, what do we do with money too? And I didn't know that either, in that I got the money, but I was like, hey, I need to get this, I need to get that, yada, yada, yada. I wasn't saving it. And so just the act of saving it and building up a savings is hugely important, because this gets you out of the mindset of lack. So saving at least 10% of your money is huge, and you guys may already know that. But not only is that a symbol of that it's important to you, to your subconscious, but it gets you to a reality where you can rely specifically on the interest of that savings in the future. But the same token, giving it is also a symbol to the subconscious, is that you don't care about it because it's coming to you abundantly. So the yin and yang, which is vitally important, is saving and giving. And also paying, yourself, obviously. First, yourself is the number one thing. Because if you can't take care of yourself, then you can't take care of, the ones around you, essentially. So first, take care of yourself, which is the savings, and, food. You got to take care of that, would be second. Third would be giving. And then the other would be like, vacations and stuff like that, saving for that, and pick things. So what I do for my children is they have a savings, a giving, and a spending envelope. And so whenever they earn, for their money, they get to put it in the envelopes that they want. But if they earn $2, they have to give $1, put $1 in the savings, and the other dollar can go into giving or spending. And that really helps not only them but me to remind myself, what I need to do with my money, in the future to, take care of the ones around me. When I was speaking with Kathy, she was mentioning about the Healy device. And I think she said that some of you guys are involved in that. And I think it's a great idea. I don't know a lot about it, and from the research I've done so far, it looks like it's promising. And I'm not going to talk about that concept, but she was intimate about reaching a certain goal for you guys, and what I think is important too. She was mentioning like $250,000 a month for you guys to reach as a goal. And for some of you that might be plausible. For some of you it might be like, holy cow, how the heck am I going to do that? And for me, my ultimate goal is $1 million a day. Now I know within myself that that's not going to happen overnight, and that I have to work towards that. And that's what I was speaking with her about, is that for some people, starting out and making small goals is essential. So that's another great point that I wanted to talk about as far as future. Creating a small goal, for example, an extra $5,000 a month selling Heelys, and it comes to you, clients are coming to you easily and effortlessly, is imperative to me because, and that's what I'm doing right now, setting small goals for myself financially, because your subconscious needs to have something, or your consciousness, that it can reach easily. It feels comfortable, because if you're starting out if you're right now, let's hypothetically $10,000 a month, ideally, and to make that huge jump to 250 grand within a short period of time doesn't seem logical to most of us. It is possible, but the consciousness can't really concept it easily, as opposed to, hey, let's go up to a couple thousand a month. We can do this. You can do this. It seems a lot more easier to reach. So if you feel like you are capable of reaching that huge goal in a short amount of time, then sure, why not? Go for it. But it's also, I advise to be realistic and try to work your way up to that. And she agreed too. I know how she is. She's very adamant about what she wants to go, which is good. And I nothing against that. And I'm the same way. I'm like, this is what I'm going to do, but I can't, like for example, for my wife, I can't tell her, hey, we have to do this, and she's just going to smack me in the face. Not really, but she's not going to be happy if I tell her we have to make $1 million a month, and she's like, doesn't work out. But so that's something to consider, is to make small goals, whether it's money or whether it's in your relationship. How can I best serve my loved ones within today? How can I best serve, humanity today? How can I best serve myself? How can I best serve money in the relationship? There are great questions to ask yourself when you get up during the day, and just, share that, or say it to yourself or write it down, as far as not only just improving your life, but also improving your finances as a whole, because the people around you are your best teachers. I could talk to you for days, but I don't know you as well as your loved ones do, and they're going to tell you most likely what you need to do to change. I can give you, information, but what you do with it in the end is up to you. That being said, something I feel like for here and now is vital in my reality, and what I like to do is declarations. And I think maybe she's probably gone over that. I don't know, but we'll talk about that a little bit. So declarations defines your reality, and the more you say it, the more it happens. And also visualization. Both of those are huge. So a declaration, basically is just saying, I am wealthy, I am abundant, I am healthy, I am one, I am all life, as Christopher would say. I am supernatural. He would also say that, Christopher Timms. If you guys don't know him, look him up. He's a genius. Kristen can contest to that. But anyways, he's a very spiritual person. And defining who you are defines your reality on all levels. And something that's super important about declarations, it has to be consistent, because if you are not where you want to be right now, it's because your previous declarations or your previous concepts weren't working. So in order to change the future, you have to change the reality of right now, and definitely let go of that past. There was a visualization that I wanted to walk you guys through, and I'm trying to think of which one that I wanted to choose, but I'll do the one that I created myself. I don't want to piggyback anyone else, although I do know other ones. So basically, this visualization goes like this. So you'll take a few deep breaths. Just relax. Take a couple more. I call this Jacob's Ladder. So you can close your eyes. You don't have to. You can just imagine yourself holding bags, and we'll call one past, and we'll call the other problems, and we'll call the other one on your back fear. And you see a ladder or a stairway going up to the ethers, and to the right you have the past, and you're holding that onto the past as you go up these stairs, and you're finally just tired of the past and tired of whatever it was that has been bothering you in the past and in the past lives, and you decide to just let it go, and that bag falls into oblivion. And you still have fear and what was the other one? Issue. I can't remember the other one. Past lives. Anyways, so let's just say fear. So you're going up the stairs and you're walking even further, and you're getting closer to the light at the end of the tunnel, but you still feel that left arm tugging you down and keeping you back, and you just let go of the luggage. Just let it go. And it just goes away into the oblivion. And finally, you keep going, and you're almost there, and whatever has held you back ever, whether it's friends, family, ever, anything that you can ever think of that could be back there, is on your shoulders, and you're just holding it like a weight, and you can't get any further up that stairs until you let it go. And finally you just pull off the straps and just let it go. And it's gone forever. And now you can walk freely up to the top of that stairs, and you can reach the light, and you are the light. You realize that you are that light, and you are the light of the world, and nothing can ever keep you from anything. Reaching any goal, reaching any reality, reaching joy. Nothing. You are joy. You are the light of the world. Now you're at the top, and you will always be there. Nothing can stop you. You can take a deep breath. And let it go. Yeah, problems. Thank you, Benjamin. All the problems are gone. It's all gone. Now you're at the 0 point. Now you can create your own reality. From here on, it's as if whatever was there has dissipated, and now you define your own path. And that you could use that daily, and I highly recommend that you use that as often as possible. Whenever you feel like you're in a position, you just take a deep breath, let it go. I've seen it actually happen in my reality. My wife and we had this condo. When I moved up here, I bought a condo with my ex, and it was still a problem. We had to get rid of it. And it was really causing a lot of anxiety and frustration between my ex and my current wife, and everybody was just fed up with the whole thing, and it wasn't going anywhere. And so finally, we were driving to my in-laws, and I told my wife, I said, just close your eyes and pretend that you're a balloon, and there's a strap tied on to you, and it's just holding you back, and it's this house, and it's just so tired of it, and we just cut it. Just cut the strap. Just cut it. sure enough, someone called us up the next day and said, we have someone that wants to buy your house now, right now. Or it was a condo. And I was like, okay, I'm done. I don't care how much they want. Let's just let it go. So it can really help you to get rid of stuff in your life on all levels. And really, I didn't do anything but have that visualization. So that your visualization ability to see what it is that you want is super crucial. In getting to, you have to see it is already happening. See it is already happening. So there's so many times I've seen this happen in my life. I'll give you another example. My daughter, we were actually, I think it was the same time frame. I'm not sure, but anyways, I was in my father-in-law's house, and he had a keyboard, and my daughters just loved it, and they were just playing on it. I was sitting there with them, and I had this vision of us having one, and I just let it go. That'd be fun. It'd be cool. And sure enough, 2 days later, a lady called up my wife and said, "Hey, I have a keyboard. I'll give it to you for like $50," and it was worth well over $100. And she's like, "Okay," and she didn't even know about my vision at all. Nobody knew about this, and even only I knew about it. And I picked her up, and she came out with a keyboard. I'm like, okay, So it's imperative to see whatever business. If you're starting a business, if you're selling Healy, define your client. So see the client. You have to know the client before the client gets there. So let's say you want to sell it to nurses. What type of nurses? What area do they work in? How old are they? You want to know everything about them before they even get to you. I've seen this in my practice with tuning forks. I want to help, spirit healers, because, a lot of times you can heal, but you don't see what's going on within yourself. So I want to help people that spend a lot of their energy on others, but not enough on themselves. Recently I've had healers come to me, and spiritual people, for sessions. So you have to define what age range, male, female, everything you could think of, the type of person. And what I highly suggest is reaching out to people that you have an intimate correlation. For example, Kathy was mentioning that she was a nurse, and I suggested to her, well, why don't you help people that were in your situation, because she knows exactly how they feel in their current situation. So she, obviously she took a hold of it because she wants to do that and help nurses understand how important the Healy is. So if you're starting a business, do that, number one. Number two, I won't get too far into the business aspect because but you do need to do what you love. That's imperative, because times will get tough. When times get tough, you're going to give up if you're doing it for money. It's inevitable. It will fail. There are a lot of books that I highly recommend. Think and Grow Rich is a great one. Covers a huge array of aspects. T. Harv Eker wrote a book, The Millionaire Mindset, and he covers a lot about what precepts that people have about money. And I even found out, what precepts that I had that I didn't realize I had and didn't even write down in that book. And then he explains how a person that has a lot of money thinks, because there's a completely different mindset that you have to go into to get to that reality. You have to engulf yourself into a millionaire reality. So hanging out with millionaires if you can, reading a lot of information about these people who have made it and their information and how they did it is huge. Thinking, what it's like to have, $1 million. What would you do? I have a little form that I would like to send you guys. I can send it to Kathy, and she can maybe give it to you guys. I might be able to post it on here. Let's see. I don't see that option, but it helps because it gives you an idea of where you're at in your current state. It also helps you find the places where you're successful. So that's a big lesson that I've learned from all the people that I've studied, is they go over that specific exercise, listing your successes, because then you're reinforcing the concept that you are successful. You build up confidence in yourself, and that is huge. I can't emphasize that one enough. And that a lot of this is, would take a lot longer in explaining, but something I definitely want to talk about a little bit is confidence, because I know for my own experience that confidence is huge, because I'm an athlete, and what I would do was play pickup games with friends. And when I would play, sometimes I would get into that state of mind like, oh man, I'm just not doing good. And then I lose the game. And you can use this literally as a same thing as life, an example. So let's say the next game, I build up my confidence. Like, I got this. I'm making shots. I'm, going down the court. I'm hitting the game winner. And sure enough, it happens. And the more you talk yourself up, I'm successful. I successfully made lunch today. I successfully, created a web page. I successfully sold Healy to someone, and I have clients. I successfully, got up today. You know what I'm talking about. The ideas, and obviously I successfully ran for a mile. Looks like Kristen's a runner. So keep feeding that concept, and then success is inevitable, right? There was another one I wanted to say. It's escaping my mind now. Abundance. So the whole talk, she was saying this is an abundance program, and sometimes that's difficult for us to realize. And here's something that really helped me in realizing that we are abundant. And if you correlate these two together, then it can help relieve a lot of the idea of lack, because the opposite of abundant is lack. And if you think about it on a universal perspective and a scientific perspective, are you guys okay? If you look at it in a perspective of universal, so elements, every element in the table of the chemistry table have the exact same structure. They all have the nucleus, then the outer the electrons, and the whole circle, and the whole thing is in the same exact structure. Now, if everything is made out of these elements, then everything has the same structure. So air is abundant. That's a great example, right? So money, or the dollar bill, has a structure that has elements that are in that table also. So does air. Even though they're different elements, they're still the same structure. So there's still energy, right? So if we see money the same as air, then we know that there's an abundant amount of it. Because you're breathing in air without worrying about it. So if you think of money like coming in without worrying about it and giving it without worrying about it, then there's no need to be concerned about it. Because it's just energy. They create money out of thin air right now. Millions upon millions of dollars. Why can't people like you have enough? I mean, that's a great question to ask yourself too. If someone can become a millionaire, why can't you? I mean, there's no reason other than our own reasons to not reach that state. So we are abundant by definition. Once we accept this concept, the possibilities are limitless. And there's nothing, like I said in the visual, standing in our way from reaching the top of that ladder. If we can just see yourself, visualize it, believe it, think it, daily. It has to be consistent, because getting out of any type of habit takes consistency of creating a new one. Right? So, that being said, I'll open up for questions and concerns and some ideas and thoughts and all that fun stuff, because I love talking about this with you guys. So you're welcome to unmute yourself. Looks like a lot of you are muted. If you would like to say anything, or I don't know. She said that you guys go from an hour to 4 hours, and I don't know how long you go. I don't want to take up too much time. I also have to get going in about 15 to 20 minutes. I can talk for about another 20 minutes if you want to ask any questions or your thoughts.
I could go.
Go ahead.
I don't have any question at the moment. I would just like to say thank you. I feel a lot of gratitude for you, Jacob, to be here and to sharing your knowledge and wisdom. It just feels awesome to sit here and take it in.
Thanks,
so,
man.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate it. Anybody else have any questions?
I did that, Jacob. Thank you so much. I mean, it takes. What I'm really grateful is all of the. You can feel like all of the books that you've read and all of the knowledge, and it's just your journey has come together, and so beautifully you explained everything you've learned. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Very kind words. Thank you, guys. Did we lose people?
I don't know if it's a question, but it's a reflection that I've been having. First of all, thank you again.
You're welcome.
Very, very useful things to put on the tool, kit tool or tool kit.
Right? I know. You're right.
I was like, toolkit, no?
Toolkit, yes.
Yeah, I've been wanting to really. I like that the way you say this is a love affair, a cultivation between the money and me. This is a love affair. I've been experiencing a lot of that. The first thing that counts is how I'm relating to myself. This loving relationship within myself, and I think it's extend to anything that relates in my life. Mm-hmm. Now, with the money itself and all the apparatus behind the money, I'm starting to have so many questions because of all the control that comes from the banks, and particularly that I was a lot of years in business and I considered that it was successful, but I still owe money to the bank, even though I could manage and So now I went to I relate to that debt not as something that is lacking. It's just that it was a possibility for me to use that money at the moment. But now the configuration is I don't want to, I want, I want to be cultivating a relationship where there is no this kind of exchange in that way with the banks. I'm interested in looking for new ways of managing money out of the system. And I also realized that somehow in my head it's like, how can I make more money now? If I make more money, the bank will take it. And I just noticed that when you were talking, and I say, well, I need to change the way of relating to this.
Right.
Because the thing is like, it's that this part in me is telling, fuck the system. I want to make the money, but I don't want to pay them back. I already paid a lot. So, and the thing is like, oh well, wait away. I'm cooking 2 businesses and I'm looking all these resources, but there is a part of me that says, you cannot earn a lot because they will take your money.
Yeah.
And I noticed that. It was very interesting. So I just want a little feedback on that.
That's awesome. No, thank you for your honesty. And Morgana goes over that also, and I didn't cover that too much. A little bit with the list of the cons of money. And you can write that down on your list and literally burn it. But you could also use it as like a money monster if that works for you. You can literally get intimate and describe how you feel about this person or the bank. You call it the bank, whatever you want to call it, and define its qualities to the utmost, and then so much so that you feel like it's almost real. And then when you get to that point when you feel like it's just like right there, it's a monster, and you feel the anxiety and the frustration from owing the stuff, and then you can do whatever you want. You could say, I'm done with you, or you could literally imagine yourself killing it if you want, or whatever you want to do to that negative entity, you could call it, and get rid of it and just say, I'm done, I'm moving on, I've created this, I choose to be in this reality where money is helping me, and the more I make, the more I receive. And one of the big things that the people that I've learned from was that you can increase your income, but don't pay them first. Pay yourself first. They can be last. They can wait. Even if you get like a small late fee or whatever it is, it doesn't really matter. But you are more important than them on all levels. So that's more important. And if you're paying them, that's good. You don't want bad credit. You don't want all that stuff, and you have to pay them. You got to do your due diligence. Pay them. But you're the number one priority, and then everybody else and everything else can come next. Family's next, and then food and that stuff, and then the bills that like that stuff that should be like the last thing. You're like, it'll get paid off. And also define your reality as if, hey, I have more than enough money to pay everything off, and I choose to be abundant. Because if you keep focusing on the debt, it's going to keep existing. As whatever you feed grows, as Christopher says. It's such a huge lesson that I've learned from him. And that it really takes itself into perception with debt. You feed it, it grows. The debt grows. But if you don't feed it and you just do what you got to do, then and you feed the savings and that's your pay yourself first is the savings. You feed that and let that grow, and that's what you want to grow, right? Yeah. Plant that seed, because I don't know how many times I'll have to give you guys a list with that questionnaire of the books, but one thing that really stuck with me was that every single penny is important. And you find a penny on the ground, and you just thank the universe for that, just that penny. And gratitude. That's what I should have covered too. Is a huge thing is gratitude for every little cent you even find on the ground, and then it just keeps coming to you. Yeah. Sorry, I kind of ranted there.
Jacob, thank you so much for sharing today. Could you give us some? If I was a millionaire, I am a millionaire.
Yes.
How am I thinking? What am I thinking? What am I doing? What am I doing? What have you learned?
Great question. So, if you're a millionaire, obviously money isn't really a concept. I mean, it is, but at the same time, it's not a concern, right? It's always there. So, a millionaire would think, I have money, right? I have plenty of it. A millionaire would be frugal. I've read, there's a book, is it The Millionaire Next Door? Yeah, The Millionaire Next Door. And they do a scientific study on all the millionaires. And one of the things that they had in common was they were frugal. And it was okay to be frugal. It's okay to, get a better deal on something you want rather than pay a lot of money for it. So they were very, very frugal. And one thing that, I could talk for hours about this topic. It's funny. One thing they pointed out is if you look at media, and they show millionaires driving around in these big fancy cars and big fancy houses and stuff like that, that's not true. You could have a millionaire living right next door to you and have a 2002 Tacoma, I don't know, an older car, in a $300,000 house, and have millions of dollars that you don't know it because they don't acquire these expenses, because that is just another expense. So a millionaire would make really wise choices with their money. The millionaire thinks that helping others, giving, is very important. Very important. Like I said earlier, that's imperative to tell the universe that you have more than enough and it's always coming to you, right? A millionaire also would trying to think what else did I learn from that. Well, wouldn't give in to lack. Make sure, pay themselves first. Like I was saying, that's huge, because you can't get anywhere if you're paying bills first. You're spending all the money elsewhere. You have to take care of yourself. It's imperative. Contrary to belief, not all of them are in great health, but they are in pretty good health. Also, the average millionaire, majority of them, I think 90%, had a spouse supporting them. So if someone is, bringing you down and not supporting you, and you're having a difficult time and they don't believe in you, you need to have a talk. Because you can't have that energy holding you back and trying to move forward, and it's just not helpful. And another one is they're the hero. They get things done. They don't complain. That was a big one. Complaining was huge, because if you're a millionaire and you got everything you want and you have a yacht, what do you have to complain about, really? So let's see what else. That's all I can think of off the top of my head. But I think those are some pretty important qualities. And gratitude, obviously. Gratitude, no complaining, giving, and receiving. Receiving is another thing I feel like that a lot of us forget to think about, allow ourselves to receive. Because if you're having trouble with things coming in, then you're not allowing yourself to receive it. But if you aren't, and it's going away, then you're either afraid. So no fear, I guess you could say, of being rich, because if you're a millionaire, then you're not afraid of it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I hope that helps.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Did anybody else want to ask a question or say anything?
We're all sending Chris Pink today. He just came out of a root canal.
Oh.
And he's here on the call with us. Wow.
Thank you, Chris. I'm sure you're feeling a little different. Well, it looks like not many other questions. Well, that's cool. Let me send the information to Kathy, and then hopefully she'll get it to you guys. And I hope to talk to you guys again. I still have more on this topic too. If she wants to have me back, it would be fun.
Well, thank you so much, Jacob.
You're welcome, Kristen.
I feel like I have a lot to digest here just in this last hour. So. Yeah.
Also, I recorded it, so I'll create a YouTube and send that to you guys, so you can, if you want to review it and write down some information, take notes or whatever, you can do that too. I also have lots of stuff to give you guys. Other videos on my channel where I talk. Did you get a chance to talk to Harrison Klein at all, or do you know him?
No. Mm-mm. Yeah, I know him. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you join his course?
I did join his course, and I also got to speak with him one-on-one.
Wow.
So I can share that with you. We talked about lack and affording bills and stuff like that, because I was in a state where I kept thinking, like, having difficulties with rent, and I'm like, just tired of seeing it as a problem. And he was gave me advice in that talk too, and basically what he said was think in abundance. So if you're thinking abundance, everything's paid for, and then it's not a problem, and that's definitely helped me out a lot in getting out of that mindset of worrying about rent or whatever like that, because it's a state of lack is what I was in. But now I'm in the state of abundance. So when you're in that state, it'll help you guys definitely.
My favorite quote is from Lester Levinson. He wrote a book. He was this guy who started the Sedona method and the release technique. Mm-hmm. And that's where I got, how to be imperturbable.
Thanks, guys.
Neutral with everything. And what he said was, when you know you have everything, everything comes. When you know you have everything, therefore you don't need it, everything comes from the mere thought of it.
Yes.
And I think that's so brilliant, because if you're in want, you're going to stay in want. But when you know you have, not hope,
right?
But when you know you have it,
yes,
everything comes from, it's mind over matter. This is all intention.
Yes.
This is all what he just said, that quote. When you know you have everything comes for the mere thought of it.
Yes.
It's so brilliant.
That thought is that visualization of it, because you're seeing it. When you can see it, that's huge. I feel like that is the most powerful approach I've had in my life in seeing it as happening. I've seen it not only in my life, but I saw it in a global or community scale, where I said to my wife one time, we all should have recycling bins. And I would just saw it as happening, and sure enough, it happened within a month or two. Whether I was connected with it, but either way, it doesn't really matter. But if you see it as happening in your reality, then yeah, you're right.
There's a knowing to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to just, and the best time to do that is at a deep relaxation state, because you have to get to a point where your whole body's relaxed, a meditative state, state where no thoughts of the outside world is impeding you. You don't have to do this, have to do that, like yada yada yada. The outside world, then that knowing, like you said, as it being already there, you already have it, is the best time to envision it and experience it and breathe and feel it happen. Yeah. Well, thank you guys.
Jacob,
Yes, sir.
Jake, this is Chris. Thanks
Chris.
so much. It's been a pleasure listening to you. It sounded like you wanted more questions. Can I just ask you one question, please?
Sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If you already covered this, then just let me know. I was driving while I was listening. So is there something that you do that's kind of your go-to, let's just say one tool that you have when your subconscious mind starts believing in that lack or the old reality and that?
I'm abundant. I say that to myself because and that's the thing you have. Thank you for this question. It's a great question. And all of it's just great comments and wonderful, to be honest with you. When you're a millionaire, according to my research, there's still that voice of what you just said, the state of lack. And Dean Grozowski, I think his name is. He's a multimillionaire. What he does and what I do personally is say, I'm abundant. I have everything I need and more. Also, Jack Canfield is a great person to follow. He has a book called The Principles of Success, and he goes over some affirmations, declarations. But for me, I'm abundant. I have more than enough money. It's coming to me. And when I do that, sure enough, everything's taken care of, and clients show up or something happens to where money comes to whatever I need. And that's also something to consider. And what I do too is I have more than enough money to go on vacation. I have more than enough money to do whatever I want, more than enough money for food. And you just keep telling yourself that, because then you're redirecting your awareness or your belief. And you have to hold true to these beliefs. And even though they come up in your mind, you can say this too, and I like to say it: thank you, I'm abundant, I have more than I could ever imagine, and keep feeding it until it goes away. Keep saying it to yourself. That's what else I do. And what else I also do is I write notes on places in my house. I'm abundant, I'm successful. I even have it on my cell phone. I don't have my cell phone with me, but I'm happy and grateful now that I know I'm receiving more than enough money consistently, effortlessly, and continuously. So create, these notes around the house, even if your wife thinks it's silly or kids or whatever. It doesn't, at this point, I don't care what anyone thinks. People come to my house, I don't care. I am wealthy on a sticky note on my fridge. I am successful on a little blackboard. So those are things that I like to do, and it keeps me in that mindset. So you're not giving in to lack, because there's millions of people that are in that state, and because you all are empathic and psychic and have abilities, whether you know it or not, you're also sensitive to the entire world. In fact, if not the universe. But our world has been plagued with that concept of lack, and so those thoughts are there because people are still in that reality. It's not your fault. It's nobody's fault that you are where you are. We have to, and that, I could go on for a while. I'm not going to stop anymore. But when we take responsibility for our, that's another thing that I do. I take responsibility, because sometimes I'll find that voice saying, well, if my wife would do this and that, and then I stop and I'm like, no, it's not her fault. We are where we are. It's my fault. Now I'm taking on the responsibility to do what I can do to help. I think that's huge. Sorry, I rant too much.
No, thank you. No, that's perfect. That's so helpful. And it's something that it's a reminder of what Kathy's been teaching us for months and months, is just to really be earnest in this. And that's like the redirection, is you have to take those steps when the mind starts to say that lack stuff. So thank you. That was a great response. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I like your shirt. All right, guys. Well, if there's no other questions, I got to get going. It's been an honor once again. Oh, go ahead.
Can we do something for you, healing-wise? Or because you said you were in the military and you had something going on. So I was...
Oh, yeah.
You know, so much to us. Maybe we can do something healing-wise back to you.
Yeah. It's not an issue anymore. It was. Ever since I got into... thank you for asking. That's very kind. Tuning forks. And I know Kathy may have mentioned that. But, you know, I do so many tunings that I also receive the healing myself, and I do it on myself. And it has gone away. It was sleep apnea at that point. And, yeah, I mean, I honestly am in really great health in general. And also Christopher Timms has helped me, too. He's given me a lot of nutritional advice, too, which really has helped me. And we can go over that maybe in the future too in that area. He's more of an expert than I. He would be a great person to talk to. But thank you though so much for asking. If you guys like to send, you know, your comments have been actually more healing than anything, because it's just a blessing just to be here to speak with you. So I greatly appreciate everybody's help and just being here. Really, it's been an honor.
Your passion is very contagious. So thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Martinez, got it. I'm glad they have the names on here so I can call you by your name. All right, guys. Well, God bless, and I'll send the information to Kathy, and hopefully she'll get it to you, and the recording, so that you guys can, you know, review it. All the questions will be on here too, so you can catch up on that too, and have a great day or night wherever you're at.
Thanks, Jacob.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you all.
Bye. Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye. $11:11. 1:11.